Now, first thing I'm going to share on the screen, somebody had posted this today in the group, and hey everyone, Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you find anything of value in this video or on my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by co-hosts Ron Braun and Marcus Crawford. We spent part of the evening discussing updates regarding the Fimi X8 SE 2020 and accessories. There's some things you don't want to miss, so let's go ahead and roll that clip in its entirety. We're going to talk about the Fimi X8 SE 2020 a little bit. Now, there's been a lot going on with Banggood. And I know both Marcus and I, it's kind of like we want to do one of these when we're looking, because we're affiliates, and we kind of like want to do one of these when we're looking at our numbers, because we're just afraid because a lot of people are canceling their orders. All right. So this is what we know as of right now, just to kind of like clear the air, because I know there's a lot of people posting a lot of information out on the group page, and I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page as this. Okay. A lot of people have canceled their orders because they've received notices, they've received emails from Banggood, and a lot of them have ordered from AliExpress, and supposedly AliExpress will be shipping, and I've seen some information on that. My advice to you is this, okay, is hang on, because from what I'm hearing, this is going to be sooner rather than later that these drones get here to the U.S. warehouse. And Ron and Marcus know this as well, okay? When you're dealing with Banggood, when you're dealing with GearBest, okay, these kind of things are going to happen. So, the best thing I can advise you to do is to be patient, okay? If you can, because you've gotten a great price, okay? The price on these drones was fantastic, all right? Now, what I did was I ordered a second one, all right? And I ordered it from the Chinese warehouse, and I actually have information on that I'm going to share with you guys. Marcus, what are your thoughts regarding all this?
Well, here's what I'm going to say. It's really easy, Bill, for you and me to tell people, hey, wait, because we've got drones we can fly, right? We have other drones, and we can go out flying whatever we want. Now, I perfectly understand if you're somebody that you don't have a drone and you really want to go flying, and you're looking at month after month, good weather, it's disappearing, I can understand why that person might cancel that order and buy a Mavic Mini or a Mavic Air 2 if they can afford it, that they know that they can get, within a week or so. But just like what you said, when you order from Banggood or GearBest or any of those Chinese websites, patience is the key, because, well, we've talked many times. My first Fimi X8, the 2018 version, it took me 5 months. I waited 5 months to get that drone. Now, I don't think this one is going to take that long, but it's just worth mentioning that. In fact, I'm trying to think of any time I've ever ordered from one of those Chinese retailers a drone that it's actually got here on time, that it hasn't been a wait of months. From the Hubsan Zeno, all of them, I can't think of one that actually got here on time. So, yeah. Ron, how about you? What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, Marcus. No, we talked about this a little bit off air, maybe last night or over the weekend. And, Bill says, asked for what advice we give people waiting on orders. If you're like the three of us and you have a whole room full of drones, just sit on the original order at that great price of, what was it, Marcus? At one point, you get it for a little under $350.
Yeah.
And some people you got $299 with the winning the contest. So if you did that, and you have a whole room full of drones, just wait it out. It will get here eventually, but it could be July, it could be August. But as Marcus said, if you have no drones at all, your only drone, hold on, pause here. If your only drone is something like this right now at this point, don't wait for summer to be half over, almost over before the Fimi X8 2020 gets here. Go out and get yourself something you can fly next week. If your budget doesn't for the Mavic Air 2, which is the I'm going to call the affordable drone I recommend now, but also that's the higher end of the affordable drone. Just get your refund, go down to your local Best Buy if it's in stock, buy the Mavic Mini, and you'll have a great summer flying. You'll get a lot of great video, a lot of great pictures, and you'll be trouble free. And so that's my advice. If you don't have a good set, if you don't have any drone at all, your current drone is this drone here. Cancel that order, go down to Best Buy, get the Mavic Mini. But again, I emphasize, if you have a whole bunch of drones, or if you live in a place where Bill does, where maybe you have good weather to fly all year round, that's a different story. But here where I'm at, I mean, summer's just getting here, but in a couple months, it'll be gone, and fall will be here, and the winds and the rain will start, and I have to get the drone then it kind of just is, I get it out once in a blue moon flight. So anyhow, that was a long-winded answer. Sorry, Bill. Throwing it back.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, well, Bill, I just was going to say, I wanted to let you know I have those codes ready to put in the chat whenever you want.
Good. Yeah, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Now, first thing I'm going to share on the screen, somebody had posted this today in the group, and this was real. It's some encouraging news here, okay? And this is on Banggood's page, all right? This is note, sorry for delayed delivery time for the pre-orders in overseas warehouse due to suppliers' delay in delivery and long transport time from CN, China, warehouse to overseas warehouse by sea and railway. Boy, they love their run-on sentences. Anyway, about 3,000 pieces X8 SE 2020 are in transit to overseas warehouse so far, and most of back order will be processed in June. Thanks for your support. So that is at least some good news that they are coming, that they will be here. So those of you that have ordered from the U.S. warehouse with a date of July 10th, I think that's going to be a good date. I think you may get them a little bit sooner. I wouldn't count on it, but I would say July 10th is probably going to be a good date as far as that's concerned. Okay. Now, Marcus, go ahead and you can drop those coupon codes in the chat. Now, there's a coupon code for the U.S. warehouse, and I have it up here on screen, and Marcus is going to drop it in the chat. BG Fimi X8 SE 20, which is really easy for US. And the one for the Chinese warehouse is BG X8 SE 20 419. And who knows what 419 means, but those are the designations for these codes here. So I wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to get that. And thank you for dropping that in the chat, Marcus. That's good.
Hey, Bill, so we probably want to be clear on what that brings those prices down to with
yes, please.
Warehouse. Have you got that, or? Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go for
it. In the U.S. warehouse, it brings it down to like $379.79, something like that. The Chinese warehouse, it brings it down to like $419. You know what? I'm gonna say even at $419, that drone is a good buy.
Absolutely.
It's not a great buy like it was at $350, but it's still a good buy. So. Yeah, anyway, that's the choices, and there's the codes.
Now, what I wanted to share here too a little bit also is some additional information. Fimi actually put out a couple of tutorials on the SE 2020. One is on updating firmware via Fimi Nav 2020 app, and the other one is updating firmware via the micro SD card. And I'll drop links in the description so you guys can go ahead and check those out. They're very short. They're about 2 or 3 minutes, but they're actually not bad. That's the first time I've actually watched a tutorial from Fimi. I was actually pretty impressed. And they do have other ones from the original, from the 2018 version as well. So I definitely suggest you guys check them out. There are several of them here. So
can I add to that one, Bill?
Go for it.
So if everybody remembers when I got my 2018 Fimi X8 SE and a prop disintegrated, first flight, prop disintegrated, and it crashed. I was lucky, didn't really hurt the drone much. But literally the next day, Fimi posted a video, and it's one of these videos that they have on there, and they were talking about inspecting your props to make sure that those screws were all in there. And then they were telling you, this is one that'll get you. You know, there's a lot of people that have had problems with the legs cracking and breaking, and they very carefully were instructing people to inspect the legs on their drones. So it's pretty clear they knew they had something going on.
Well, that's ironic, but I think those are excellent tips, Marcus, to pass on to people. Is before you go out for your first flight, check to make sure that those screws are tight on all the props. I mean, I watched Marcus's video and I just like, oh no, I saw him and I was just like, oh my gosh, when the first time he flew his Fimi X8 SE, and it was like one of those, and I'm like, oh my goodness, but thank goodness it really didn't do damage to his drone. He was he will be the first to admit he was very fortunate with that.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
And lucky. And also to the legs. I mean, I would say you want to inspect them before and after every flight. I mean, that's just something that we're going to go forward. Do you think it? And here's a question for you, Marcus: is it going to be different on the 2020 version or not?
So with regard to the legs in particular, I think the legs are even more important than those props. I think what happened to me with the props was more of a one-off situation, a manufacturing error, no doubt, but I haven't heard a lot of those. But what we have heard a lot of is people with the 2018 version, particularly flying in sport mode, that an arm will break and the drone will crash. So it is, I think, imperative that you inspect the legs on that drone and be careful of really abrupt maneuvers while in sport mode, because it's a very powerful drone. That said, I wouldn't let it stop me from enjoying the drone, but if you inspect them every flight, just so that you don't have a crack starting in one of the legs. And I actually had a commenter on one of my videos kind of warn me. He said, Marcus, he goes, I crashed my drone, he said, because of those legs. And I had loaned my drone out to Ron, and as soon as it got back, I inspected the legs, and sure enough, there was a start of a crack on one of the legs. I epoxied it, and it's fine, but I just think it bears mentioning that's just one of those things that you want to keep in mind with that Fimi.
Absolutely, and
let me add that I did hot rod that drone all over the place, and
I did, Ron.
Yeah, Ron Brown, hot rodder at heart. We all know how Ron likes to hit the pedal to the metal.
I took it down to drag races.
That's right. Well, the drag racing expert is in Idaho in this panel. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. One of the other things is to let you guys know, parts are available for this. Unlike trying to get parts for a DJI drone, which is kind of like pulling teeth sometimes. They are available on AliExpress. I know I've seen legs out there for the Fimi X8 SE to purchase, and they're not horribly expensive. So, but have to know what you're doing and being able to repair drones like that to put those on. Because there's wires involved and maybe soldering. I'm not sure. So, but they are available. So just to kind of let you guys know something like that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go and share tonight too is I found it, and now they're under a lot. They say it's currently unavailable. I kind of lucked out on this. It's by YX Intelligent Charger, and there's a bunch of different names that they go by. Now this is available on Banggood. It's available on AliExpress. I found it luckily on Amazon and was able to get one of the last ones that they had there. Now you're able to charge up to 4 batteries, a smartphone, and also your controller at the same time on this. Now it did say, and one of these things, and this is something that I can't emphasize enough, because I've heard people say, oh, I left my batteries on my charger, went out to dinner or something, and then, a disaster happened or something. Let me tell you this, and this has been my rule since day one in flying drones. When I'm charging these batteries, and I don't know about you guys, but when I'm charging batteries, it's like Valerie has a rule. Anytime that stove is on, okay, we have to be home. Like if a roast or something is in the oven, we don't go out, okay? The roast has to cook before we leave. I mean, that's her rule. And I like the rule. I mean, it makes sense. So it's the same thing with this for me, because, these batteries basically have chemicals inside them and can cause, fire and things. And, just for grins and giggles all the time, I always am home while these are charging. And
Bill,
I prefer.
I got the same rules as you do.
Good, Ron. Those are
For the
good
oven
rules.
and the batteries.
You good? See, yeah. You know, it's
I
like
put my batteries in the oven.
you put your
Then if they explode, they're safe.
375 for 45 minutes. Okay.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that, everybody.
Hey, Bill, take a quick time out here in the comments. Go to Chris K about like maybe 20 comments back, and he talks about his Fimi, his order from the U.S. warehouse, and he expects it to arrive on June 8th.
Okay. There we go. My Fimi shipped from USA warehouse order April 15th, and also is by Banggood. Surprisingly expected ship date of May 29th. Will arrive June 8th. Oh, that's fantastic, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Now, what's ironic, I know, Marcus, when did you order your Fimi?
April 4th.
Okay, I ordered mine April 12th. And see, in Marcus, and we were talking about this last night on Xeno Nation, and Chris, thank you for sharing that, and thank you, Ron, for calling that up. But what was interesting was we were talking about this last night, you know, and like Marcus said, it doesn't make any rhyme or reason. You know, people ordered after us are getting it before us, and just it's all messed up. I mean, there's no pattern or logic to this at all.
Maybe Banggood has the same distribution people that used to work for GearBest.
Yeah, probably.
On the Xeno 2 release.
Hell, they could be the same company for all we know.
That I wouldn't doubt. Question of the day. What is the status on your order for the Fimi X8 SE 2020? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.